of programming, the very basic logics that should help us. Next, we'll jump to the next topic today. So that is for loop. So far we have used while, and most of the time, definitely if you are a data engineer, you keep working with for loop, friends. More than while, that we try to iterate data, most of the data using for itself. So what is for here? So so once after we had a clear idea and understanding with while. So when we talk about while, so let's take an example. You take while loop. While is something, right, which is actually a traditional loop. Like, it is used to iterate a loop from begin, start and end with some, condition. Once condition is false, all that. So we have to explicitly specify conditions, initialization, condition, incrementation or decrementation, all that. But if you come to the for loop in Python, of course, this for loop is not something what we have in C, C++, or regular for loop in Java. In Java also we have something called a special for loop or sophisticated for loop. So that for is this one. So the purpose of this for is it is used to iterate on collections. This for what it does is it is a loop definitely, but here you don't need to provide initialization or condition or incrementation or anything. So this looks like this. The syntax of for look like this. So for dummy variable, okay, and then in some collection, and that collection can be string or any data structure. It can be any, even string is a data structure in Python. It can be a string, it can be list, it can be tuple, it can be dictionary, it can be anything, friends. Any collection. Collection is a group of values. And this is the syntax for dummy variable in collection. And then we have to use hash statements. That's all. There is, see, you can see there is a quite a variation between while loop and for loop here. We don't have any initialization or condition here. Just you pass collection here, and this loop iterates, this for loop iterates until all values from the collection are iterated. Every time loop iterates it copies one value from collection and assign it to the dummy variable. Okay, so in that way, this for iterates depends on number of values in a collection. And this is an automated one. It will automatically do all that. And we don't need any initialization or condition or any step statement like in while loop. And this is most used for in Python when you are working on data more than while. While is something which we rarely use. Okay, this is the quick idea about for loop, and this is the syntax. So to work with for now, we didn't start any data structures, right? The next topic would be data structures. But before that, being familiar with for is going to help us. So here, to work with this for loop at this stage, so we are going to use this type functions. Sorry, this range functions. So what is range here? Again, range is something which provides a range of values. Even this is a kind of internal collection. So this provides a range of values starting from what shall we say, starting with 0. There are different variations of range. You have different types of range otherwise. So for now, let's understand range and apply that in the for loop. We need at least some collection here, as we didn't yet start discuss collections. So we can use range till then. What is this range here? Range is something which provides range of values. And here this is of 3 different types. Range of n, range of start and end, range of start and end step. We'll go one by one and we'll get a very clear idea here, detailed idea. Are you following, friends? So, range of n means what? How this works? Simple. Let me just start showing you. So, next topic is we are doing loops in that. So, for test one. Okay. Can you hear me, friends? Are you able to hear me or not?
Yes, we are able to hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, then we are good. Thank you. So now this is we can use anything range with range. First, before that, even I just want you to understand what exactly is range. So I'll do one thing. Where is this console here? Let's get into the console. Let me show you. This is Python. If you want to do some quick testing inside the PyCharm itself, we have Python console here itself. Okay, suppose you see here range of some 10. This is type 1, which just takes n, and I mean it provides first n values. Suppose if I pass 10, it provides values from 0 to 9. And start is always 0 for this. We don't have a control on this on this start. If you are using this type range of n, enter. Now you can see here it produces a range of numbers from what is it here, friends? 0 to 9. If we iterate it, it doesn't give 10. 10 is exclusive. It is not included. This is excluded. It iterates from 0 to 9. Means 10 values altogether. Same thing. So we have to mention some range of some 100. If you say it provides first 100 numbers. Range of 1000, first 1000 numbers. Likewise, you can choose this range function to provide a range of numbers, and it is a kind of collection, and we can iterate it, and we can do some manipulation on data. This helps a lot in different cases. So this is a quick idea about range. That too, in that range, type 1, that is range of n. So suppose you see here, and here you don't have a control. It always starts with 0, ends with size, I mean size minus 1. Or n minus 1. Suppose you say n, you can iterate values till 9. Suppose if you give 10, it iterates till 0 to 9. 100, 0 to 99. Something like that. Friends. This is how range works. This is type 1. Type 1 means version 1. Just you can use range and pass n, then it produces some range of numbers. Always start is, what is start? 0. And end is, and it ends with that n minus 1. Suppose if it is 10, it starts with the 0 and ends with the 9. Suppose if your value is 10, in case if you are providing something 10 as n. Similarly, same it is applicable. Hope you are clear with that. Then we can jump to the coding here. Just let's start testing that range of range of n. So now this is for loop. One thing. Second thing, also we are applying type 1 of range. So this is the range of n here. Okay. So for I in, if you not I, some for some value in range of some 10, I am directly passing here, you can see. Means what it provides, this loop iterates for 10 times by default. Every time it iterates, one value from range is copied to value. And it starts with 0, ends with size minus 1, friends. Okay, so finally what you have to do, so you should just say print some value. Over, that's all, very simple. See, if you want to write the same in while or something, at least we need to extend little more lines. But with for, it is much more simpler here, friends. So this iterates how many times? 10 times without any doubt. It starts with 0. Every time it iterates, one value from range is copied to this value variable, and when you print it, you get see the output. See, 0 to 9. It won't give you 10 because 10 is not included, it is excluded. 10 is exclusive. And if you pass n, range produces values from 0 to 9. Definitely it produces 10 values, but the start is 0, so it ends with 9. And this for loop takes care of doing all that iteration. So here you don't need to provide start, end, or anything, a step statement or anything. Everything is inbuilt in this for loop. Okay, that is the idea, friends. So maybe you put a debugger here, right click and debug this program. Now let's see this. So you can see now it started iterating, and the first value you can see it's showing value has 0. It copied 0. Now you can go there and then again print it. And now again one is copied. Again you can see now again print that 2, and then again it prints 3. Again it prints 4. Again it prints 5. Again it prints. See, every time you iterate, one value from range is copied to this value variable, dummy variable value. See, again it copies 7. You can see 7 is copied into value now. Now 8 is copied into value of that. It just keeps on copying. Each time loop iterates, one value from range is copied to value, and it gets printed. And you can see the output here. So this is the execution flow, friends. You got it right. So this is how for works. Every time loop iterates, one value from range is assigned to this value. This is type 1 of range. This just range of n. And it always starts with 0, ends with n minus 1. Then you might ask a question. See, I need something, Manoram. I start with 10 and ends with 20. Do you have anything like that in range? The answer is yes. Again, you can see we have 3 types of ranges here. So what is that? Let me just show you. You can see here. Second type. You can choose your own start, your the where you want to start, where you want to end. The start and end, you can customize that. And you can choose where to start, where to end. That is type 2. Type 3 means again both forward direction and backward direction. If you want to decrement, these two are only in forward direction. We can just increment with type 1 and type 2 range functions. Means printing numbers from 1 to 100 or 1 to 1000 or anything. Suppose I want in reverse direction, this two doesn't work, type 1 and type 2. Then type 3 is the best choice. You have a step here. Positive step always in positive direction, like 1 to 10, 1 to 100, 1 to 1000, or 20 to 10, like 10 to 20. You can also choose a range of values here. Suppose I want to do 10 to 1, then just I can choose negative step. -1, if I represent it, it prints in negative direction. I'll just show you now. I'm just giving you a heads up, that's all. Once we start checking, testing, you get a clear idea. So step 2, so step 1 we have seen here, or type 1, sorry. Type 1 we have seen, it's just range of n. Type 2 means you can choose your own start here. You can control the start and end here. So now we are trying type 2 range function, range of start comma end, sorry. So now what is that for? Some value in range of, suppose I want to print values from 10 to 20. My requirement is printing 10 to 20. Then I can use 1020 colon print that value. Now you can choose where to start, where to end with type 2 range function. Okay. So now let's run this. Now you get two outputs, one from the type 1 and one from type 2. Okay, run this now. Now you can see here. The second output is from 10 to 20. Of course, 20 is excluded again. So when you give 10 to 20, it excludes 20. Suppose you want even 20, then you have to pass 21 here as the end value. Then it iterates from 10 to 20. 21 is excluded here. End value is excluded. Okay, now run this now. You can see here. See, you got it. Okay, this is the idea, friends, about type 2. You got it right. Understand, maybe having a clear idea about this range helps you to work further in your coming scenarios, in the upcoming scenarios. This is about type 2. Again, you ask me, Manoram, okay, this is fine, we got it. Suppose I want to print some output instead of not only in the positive direction, I want to print in some negative direction. I want to print some 10 to 1. If you want to print in decrementation, incrementation means you can choose this one or this one, anything should be fine. And if you want to control range, you can use type 2. If you want just have some first 10 numbers, then you can use type 1 range. And again, direction, both if you want to test your iteration in negative direction, then choose type 3. Type 3 of range function. What is that? Simple. Same thing almost. We have a start, we have end, and then we have a step here. Step in sense a positive step and a negative step, friends. It's not like step in sense you don't need to get confused. Same thing what we have discussed with while, right? Step in sense with while also you can iterate that while in incrementation way or in a decrementation way. Because in any programming, we can iterate loop in either two of these directions, incrementation or decrementation. Here, step is that you want to iterate in a positive way or negative way, or incrementation or decrementation. See here now. Suppose we are printing for some I. Generally, here I am applying I, but in coding, you provide some meaningful names. You got it right, friends. If you put IJ, people can easily understand, especially you are moving to that data engineering or some these kind of things as a new person. But you put some experience, right? If you don't want people to quickly get it, so provide meaningful names and code hygiene is important. Okay, fine. So let's get into the point here. So I provide start as, suppose I want to print 1 to 10 here, friends. Printing this here I am printing 1 to 10. So then what? This is simple. Start is 1, end is 11, colon, and then print of what? I. So okay, this is fine. Or you can pass as usual value itself by to have some I or something value. Okay, this is fine. It prints from 1 to 10. 11 is excluded. This is also okay for it because this is almost similar to which one? Type 2 range function. This is type 3, right? You can also pass step. Step means I am passing one as step, positive step. If I pass one, it's more of doing incrementation from 1 to 11. So now run this now. You get 1 to 11 again at the, sorry, 1 to 10 at the last, in the last for loop. Because range is set to what? 1 to 11. It takes till 1 to 10. And when I pass one here as step means we are asking to increment loop by 1, positive incrementation. Suppose if I pass 2 here, see, asking loop to increment by 2. Step in sense, it's not just 1. You can use 2, 3, 4, 5, how much ever you want. Now if I run this, see, this step It is incrementing by 2 here. It started with 1 and then 3 and then 5 and then 7 and then 9. See, we got all odd numbers here. Suppose if I pass 3, it increments. The step is incrementing by 3. You can see 1, 4, 7, 10. See, that's what this is. How simple this is. Got it right. This is positive or incrementation side or incrementation wise. If you want to do something, this is what we apply. A range with a positive step. That too, when you do incrementation, we apply positive step. Suppose you do reverse. Suppose you have some 11, not 11, some 10 and some 1. If not, if you want 10 to 1, then put 0. This is start. Always this is start. This is end. Now I want 10 to 1. This is decrementation, right? Then my step should be -1. See, if it is -1, see the output. It is decrementation. See, you can see it starts with 10 and ends with 1. Got it, right? Suppose if I pass my step, a negative step, that too, generally we pass negative when you are doing decrementation. So when I pass -2, see, you got all even numbers from 10 to 2, 10 to 0, of course. Okay. Now, suppose if I say -3, you are doing decrementation, right? This is a negative step again, decrements by 3. Decrements this whole, the right, it provides a range of values by decrementing numbers from 10 to 0 by 3. So run this now. Now you see here 10, 7, 4, 1. This is type 3 range. So we have more better control with type 3 range. And you can apply it for incrementation and decrementation by choosing a step here. When you are incrementing, you can pass a positive step. By default, generally 1. If it is 1, it's more like incrementing by 1. And you can choose that step value here. If it is 1 or 2 or 3, how much ever you want. And if you want to do decrementation, what is that we should do? We should pass negative step. So that's all about this range functions, different types of ranges. So type 1 is just passing in, type 2 start and end value, type 3 we can include a step as well. So this is the idea about what, friends, idea about different about two things. Here we are trying to understand two things in one shot. What is it? We are trying to understand a fur, sophisticated fur. And then second thing, we are understanding one more. What is it, friends? Let me share this code with you. One more is understanding a range function. Or you can, I'm just sharing this code with you, this small code snippets. You can just copy from the chart, friends. You got it right, friends? This is the idea. Once you get this clarity, then you can start working on data structures. Next interesting topic and the very important topic is data structures. Of course, I am not immediately jumping, just giving you an idea. This is the idea about what, friends? This is the idea about fur and range, different types of range. Okay, we'll quickly do few problems and then jump to which one? Jump to the next topic, that is data structures, the very heart of any Python program. You can't even imagine any programming without this. Okay. So now what do? We just solve some couple of problems and then just jump to next topic on in this Python. Okay. So this is all we printed 10 to 1, 1 to 10, all this is discussed. So now suppose I want to print all even numbers. Even that we tested. We covered here itself. What is it? Just pass 1 to, I mean 2 to or 0 to some n numbers and increment by 2 here. Odd numbers. Sum of first n numbers. Suppose I want to do a logic here. That logic is this. What is it? So I want to do not with while, but with what is it? Let me just show you. This is all anyhow we did it. If you want, you do one thing, friends. A small assignment for all of you. Try to rewrite same logics which we implemented with while using a for. What is that? Factors of a number, sum of factors. Okay, and then number of perfect number, all this prime or composite, all that. Whatever we try to implement, palindrome, Armstrong, everything. See if you can apply same with for loop as well. This is a small assignment for you. And any issue you come, I can help you, no problem. But if you are really good with that while all the logics which we implemented with while, then this should be very easy for you. If not easy, you spend some time, no problem. See, that's where thinking improves. Trust me, friends. Okay, this is the assignment. So solve all this with fun. I'm just putting the program list in the chart. This is a small assignment for you. Rewrite all these programs, what we implemented with while till yesterday in the last two classes. Please rewrite these with for. Give a try so that you become that for becomes hands-on for you. You got it right, friends. I just shared in the chart. You can take that list and just apply. If you have any issues, always we are there. You have Shiva sir and me. We are there to help you. Anytime you can just, you know, we can discuss at the end of our talk session. Okay. So this is fine. Next after that, this is a small assignment. Anyhow, you can do it. Not a big problem. But try it yourself first. Initially, give a hard try without taking any help from Chat GPT or something. Don't generally go to Chat GPT because it gives everything. At least Stack Overflow is fine to some extent. Okay, fine, it's okay. But it's okay. Now we are going to the next topic, nested loops. Before I start data structures, let's have a quick idea about nested loops. So that we'll do one or two patterns and then we go to the data structures. Nested loops means loop within loop. Even this, sometimes we need to, while iterating data, we need nested first. And also while, nested while. You can see this is a nested loop. Before we jump to data structures, so let's have anyhow a quick idea about all this. Nested while means while inside while. So this is nested while. If you want, you can add one more third loop as well. It's up to you based on the requirement. Similarly, we can have nested for as well, friends. It's not like just we need to have something only with while. We can have nested fors as well, a for in a for. So suppose I want to print some patterns, patterns in sense something like this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, some stars like the triangle, star triangle. If I want to print a pattern, definitely nested loops are essential. You cannot just do this with one loop, friends. It's not possible. We need nested loops. You got it right. So let us see what is the behavior of execution flow of a nested loop here. If outer loop iterates for one time, inner loop iterates until this condition is false. Of course, even outer loop executes until the condition here is false. But if this iterates one time, this iterates until the condition is here inside in the inner loop is false. Same is applicable for as well, of course, until that whole, right? The for inner for is completely iterated, again go back to outer for each iteration of outer for. And out for also looks like this. If you are asked, if you think that where is the syntax of nested for dummy underscore where one, okay, in some collection one colon, again you can put same thing here, dummy where two. Indentation matters here. So in Python, what is the important thing? Indentation. In collection to something, it goes on. If you want, you can add one more. It's up to you. But two is enough here for just showing as a syntax. And this is syntax for. But anywhere this if outer for iterates one time, inner for iterates until all the values from collection is iterated. For every iteration of outer for, the inner for is completely iterated. So this is the execution flow. So let's do a quick build a pattern like this now, like this. 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star. Okay, let's do that now. So this is the requirement. Now with you can apply either nested for or while or we can let's try both so that you get some idea. Later on, I'll share you again assignments. And please try to solve them, friends. They are going to help you a lot to become whatever the basics we had discussed so far. All that becomes hands-on for you. So applying ranges, applying looping, all that becomes familiar for you. It becomes hands-on. So now pattern test. Okay, what is my pattern here? My pattern is this, friends. So 1 star, 2 stars, 3 stars, 4 stars, something like this. This is my pattern. Or you can also print triangles first. Instead of going to stars, you can do one thing. Not triangle, sorry, rectangle. I'm about to say rectangle. Something like I need a rectangle like this. This is so simple one. If it is a rectangle, it is much more simpler. You don't have too much of logic as well. Of course, even triangle don't have logic, just a simple thing. First, let's start with this rectangle with the nested while or for. We will apply both, right, while doing this patterns and see. So what is the scenario here? Simple. We just need print a triangle, sorry, rectangle with this is 7 by 3, I believe. 7, you can see 3 rows and seven columns. So now what do you do? Take a while loop. Before for while we need any initialization int I equal to 1. Just a minute. I equal to 1. Again while I less than or equal. Suppose you want to iterate which one? I less than or equal to 3. Because I need just 3 rows, right? So how many rows? Rows are decided with rows are implemented with the outer while. So when you create nested while to print rows, we use outer while. So this prints rows or generate rows. How many rows you want? I need 3 rows, so I am passing 3 here. And how many columns I need? I need 7 columns. Then I need one more while. Then I less than or equal to 7. Okay, you can input this from keyboard as well if you want, as M or N or anything, or row or columns. How many rows you want? How many columns you want? So this is printing a 3 by 7. What is it? A rectangle. It's not triangle, rectangle. We change it again, of course. Okay, and for inner loop, so sorry, there is a small change. I put I again for inner loop, inner while. For inner while, use J. Outer while, use I. It's up to you. It's not, we should stick to I and J for this loop variables. You can put X, Y, or anything of your choice. But for inner outer while, you pass one variable here, loop variable. For inner while, one loop variable. If this is for generating first, I mean 3 rows, and this is for this generates columns. Columns, how many? 7 columns. Every time this outer loop iterates, this inner loop iterates for 7 times. You can see here. And here we should J should be initialized here, friends. Where should I initialize J? Not outside, but inside. J is equal to 1. I mean, outer loop starts with 1. You can see it's I. And condition is it should iterate for 3 times. Similarly, inner loop also starts with 1. You can see here J is set to 1. And iterates 7 times. It's up to you. If you want to produce 7 columns or 6 columns, it's up to your friends. You can change this value here. And finally, what? Print. Print off. What is that I should do? I just need to print a star of rectangle here. Okay. Otherwise, what? A rectangle stars here. So simply you just need to print that star here if you want. And then what? That's all. But if you just leave it like this prints all your stars in one. What is that? Line by line. So what is that? Until this whole inner loop iterates, I have to print the stars in the same line. If I should do that, I should not just print like this, comma. You should pass some AND parameter here, and then that too, just put it space. If you end it with space, then what is that it do? It doesn't push cursor to the next line every time this while iterates. If outer while iterates for 1 time, inner while iterates for 7 times, starting with 1 to 7. And every time it iterates, I don't want print value by value, but all my stars should be printed in the same line until this complete inner while is iterated for one whole time. You got it right, friends. And to print all your values in the same line, just use this AND parameter and set it to space. Just an empty string should be fine. So we are not yet done. Then as this is a traditional regular loop, we need all initialization, condition and steps as well. Now we have to provide a step for inner while j equal to or j plus equal to 1. And now a step for what? So push this inside, friends. So this is if it is for outer while, inner while, sorry, this j incrementation should be inside this inner while. And you can see I am providing a proper indentation. See. Similarly, what? Provide indentation for I. For I, you have to provide in the after inner while, inside outer while. See here. So I plus equal to 1. So this whole part comes in as a block for outer while. You can see. This is we have a perfect indentation. Now let's run this, we get triangles. But still, I think we need to add something here. Let me just run it and show you first. Okay. So right click, run this. Okay, sorry. Old habits don't die quickly, something. This is Java way of doing. I put int I equal to 1. That's why it's asking. What is this here? Okay, no problem. I just removed it, friends. Now we should be fine. Let me run this. This should work for us. See, I told you something is missing in this program. I am able to print my output in the same line. After this inner loop iterates one complete time. Means if it iterates for 7 times, it is one complete iteration for inner while. Once this is completed, we have to push cursor to the next line. For that, what is that? Just use empty print. Then you get expected shape. If it is rectangle here, you get a rectangle there. Got it, friends? What is that I should do? As I just control the cursor printing into the same line, what is that I should do? After completing one whole iteration of inner loop, whole iteration in sense, one complete this thing, cycle from J starts with 1 to 7. This is one cycle. What is that I should do? I have to push cursor to the next line so that I can get, after completely printing one row, I have to push cursor to next line. If I should push the cursor to next line, then just add empty print after this inner while. That should help us to get the expected shape here. Okay. Right click, run this friends. See, we got expected shape here. That's it, friends. This is simple idea about working with the nested loops. And this is how we can generate patterns. All other patterns work in the same style. Only thing is, here and there we have to keep adding logic and deduct and removing logic to get up to print shapes here or patterns here. Okay, this is fine, friends. If you want it, I mean, again, debug, just put a debugger at the start while, right click and then run it and then just see a step by step execution. Okay, so this should give you that idea, friends. Hope you all of you are clear on this. This is how we can work with nested loops. Nested loops are also very useful for us. Definitely, you when you are working on large data sets, nested first are definitely used, and you need that practice a lot. You definitely apply nested first, friends, because you are doing data engineering and you try to work on large data sets. So this is important. Of course, we use while a bit less compared to for. I don't say completely we don't use while, but in very few cases we might. Okay. So save this because I am sharing this with you. Sorry. Let me share this with you. So code snippet. And I think I shared this with you in the chat box, friends. Okay, this is fine. Next scenario is we'll just do one or two patterns and jump to data structures. One of my favorite topic in Python, because collections is something which is very important everywhere. Suppose even you work with sophisticated packages or modules in Python, like pandas, all this. Inbuilt everywhere, we need these data structures. You play with data structures. So this is what data structure is, something really a very fundamental and core topic. Okay. Anyhow, when we will soon start that. This is fine. Next, one more pattern. We'll try with for loop this time. We tried with while, right? One scenario. One more thing, we try with for friends. Okay. So here, Python file and then pattern, triangle pattern. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's say triangle underscore pattern. Okay. So this is what is the pattern I need here? My pattern is this: 1 star, 2 stars, 3 stars, 4 stars. After doing one or two, I'll give you problems, assignments, so that try to solve all those problems, friends. Definitely, if you really spend some time, not immediately, by this weekend, at least you can solve all them. Or at least next take one more week. But please solve them yourself. Now, this is the pattern I need. So, how many rows? See again, two things you should observe when you are building a pattern. See how many rows are needed, and that rows is iterated through outer for or outer while. That outer loop gives you number of rows. Inner loop is actual thing that gives you the pattern. I mean, how many, the way you are printing, right? 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star. This is printing of the stars are managed in inner loop. You got it right? So this shape, whatever we are getting here, we managed to get this shape through inner loops. Outer loop gives you number of rows, simply speaking. Inner loop gives you number of columns. So this is the simple triangle now. Now for some I in range of how many rows you want? You want 4 rows, then just pass 5. Sorry, yeah, 5. Not even 5. You just pass 4. 4 itself, friends, because it starts with 0, ends with the size minus 1, 3. You get 4, definitely. When you say range of 4, it produces 4 values and the start is 0. So end with 3. Still we have 4 there. And if you want exclusively, if you want to see like 1 to 4, then you can say 1 comma 5. You can also choose this type 2 if you want. 1 comma 5. It starts with 1, ends with 4. And 5 is excluded. We just had discussed this. This loop iterates for how many times? 4 times. Now, for again, the pattern one. If outer loop iterates for 1 time, inner loop should iterate for, you can see here, the control is here, for I times. If I is 1, this inner for should iterate for I times. For j in a range of, you have to choose, this should iterate just I times based on your I value. Somebody is saying something, friends. Any question? Okay, I'm continuing. So here, what is that I'm passing here? I'm just passing I here. Okay, and then colon. So this I means in sense, if I is 1, it just iterates for 1 time. If I is 2, this j iterates for 2 times. If I is 3, j iterates for 3 times. That's I times. And finally print j here. You have to print, of course, we need stars, right? So if you want stars, print star, comma. Of course, you need some, what is it, friends? If you use n parameter and just assign it to empty string so that all that stars are printed in the same line in that particular iteration. After this, what is that we should do? Add a print after this. You can see this is much more simplified. The previous example, if you see with while that rectangle pattern, let me just show you. So this you can see this is much more lengthier. If I use this for, it is much more optimized. See here, because you don't need incrementations or decrementations or initializations when you are working with this for loops. So let's try to run this now and see what would be our result here. Let's run it now. See, perfect. Only thing is just having that understanding, friends. Even not every time I get things. So even I need to Google or chat, I mean, check in chat GPT or anywhere. Because I'm using chat GPT because these days that is a source. But in company, it's not possible. When I am at home, it's possible. That's all. Because we don't have permission to chat GPT still. But many companies are providing access to GitHub Copilot, all this. So this is the idea. You can see here. So inner loop should iterate how many times? It should iterate I times. If I is 1, inner loop should iterate for 1 time. If I is 2, this should iterate for 2 times. If I is 3, this should iterate for 3 times. So this inner loop should iterate for I times, simply speaking. We got it right. Similarly, there are so many patterns, friends. If you want to really conquer that practice of coding and also applying logic thinking, I'll just share you all that now. Work on all those patterns. It will definitely make you hands on with all this, whatever we have discussed so far, this if and decision making statements, loops, for and while, or anything, friends. Okay. Let me share this code snippet with you. Okay. So this is the idea. Sorry. Got it now? Now what you can do is So patterns in any language, it's not like patterns in C. Something there is a website programming simplified. It has good collection of programs. I'll just show you. You can choose anything. It's not like it should be just C language. You can take from Python as well. Otherwise, you can take from here, friends. Tutorial tonight. Yeah, you try all this. You have solution here, but more than seeing, looking into the solution, try it yourself. Only thing is there is a bit of optimization. Almost your C looks like Python because Python is a sister, I mean, son or daughter of C itself. Okay. So just only think there are certain changes, that's all. Almost the logic is here. Okay. So what you can do is you can give a try with all these 30 patterns. You have more than that, but first you try this, friends. I'll share that one more website link where you have all that core logics with different patterns that helps you to master all this looping everything. Now let me just share this thing. Use this and try to solve all these problems. Something like hollow square, you can see something like this. This is another type. I'm printing something like this. This kind of triangles, all this you can see here. Okay, please try to solve them. In case any help needed, we are there. That's what I would like to inform. Now we are done with this. Now we are stepping into the next one is our actual world of programming. So far, this is all foundation. And now the first core topic, because this is something which everyone should learn. But for Python, this is something which this is what differentiates Python from other languages. Simplified data structures. If you go to Java, because I worked in Java as well. So if you ask me, in Java, data structures are a bit little complex there. I don't say they are difficult, but still they are little not that straight. But here in Python, everything is very simple. Right. So now data structures are collections in Python. What is a data structure? That is the first question. So simple, friends. So data structures are used to organize and arrange data in a proper order. That's all. That too, instead of playing with this data, like with loops or all that, when you are playing with that. So if you want to preserve all that data, suppose you print 1 to 10 here. See here, you are printing 1 to 10, all that, right? In the loops. You cannot preserve these values. But with collections, you can do that. You can preserve these values, you can store it. Once I iterates, that one is lost. But if you have a collection, you can store that I somewhere, put it into collection and use it for some other purpose. If it is just a loop, just I iterates, every time I iterates, this I gets replaced with new value. But if you want all that series of values, then what you can do, you can have a collection, empty collection, put all that values into collection. This is a kind of what is that storing data. Of course, this is a temporary storage, but still this helps a lot for us. So, and what data structures exactly? Data structure means you put data in some structures. That's all. You organize in a well organized data. I mean, formats is nothing but data structure. simply speaking. Okay. They are used to organize and arrange data in proper order. That's like a bookshelf in a library where you try to have racks and you arrange that books in racks according to some index. Each rack has index, something like that. And here data structures are used to store large volumes of data. Like all this string, this list, this tuple, this set, this dictionary, all this, whatever data structures we have in Python, they can store unlimited data, right? And here we are easy to manage and store. It's easy to store and manage. That is what here it happens. For reading or for selecting or for writing or updating or deleting, all this comes under the operations we do on data structure. Same like what we apply on this database. Generally, in a database, we try to write data to a table. We read data from a table and we update a table and we delete a data from a table. Same thing we can do on collections as well. Okay. So that these are simply speaking data structures. But it's very interesting when you work with data structures in Python. And these are all core data structures in Python. Strings, list, tuple, set, dictionary, all these are core data structures. So, and definitely without this, you cannot expect your Python development in real time. And dictionary is the most used data structure. Then list is something we use after that. Then tuple and then set. And strings, of course, always they are there. You can't imagine data sets without string data. Such is the importance of strings. And manipulation on strings is much simpler in Python compared to other languages. Right. And first we start with strings tomorrow. It's a very good topic. And we understand all built-in APIs. We'll see string API, what a string class, what methods are there, how to apply those methods. And we definitely make it hands-on. And we take some couple of mini projects and work on these strings. Similarly, same thing for all that. At least by the time we complete these data structures, we at least cover from some 50, 60 projects on altogether on data structures on different various, I mean, different types, at least even more than that, I believe. Such is the depth of this topic. And yeah, that definitely help you for your data engineering. Okay, we'll stop here because I can start it, but as we are already in 9:30, so tomorrow we start with strings. These are from here onwards, you like Python more, trust me. But till this, all of you are fine, right, friends? All these loops and everything, the basic thing is fine for everyone, right? Any issue anywhere, we are there. You can always contact us. Maybe that WhatsApp group is there, as Shiva sir mentioned. So please ping there or anything if you need, just let us know. Only thing, make sure you have that implementation ability and that this thing applying capability, that is important, friends. So that's all for today. Any questions? I can take it now. Mm, I'm stopping report recording.